Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Homes How Do I, and today we're going to install curtains over a walkout patio. So it's going to be one single rod, couple panels. The challenge is there's no studs in these areas, and so typical window frame, those are just ornamental, and we're going to have to go right into sheetrock. So I'll show you a couple ways to fasten into it and how to get them hung up, really with no measuring. So with that, let's dive in. So to go into the wall, there's typically a couple different ways I'll do it. One is these screw-in lead anchors. They work out great. Your bit just goes in there, it drives in, no drilling required. And if you happen to go into a stud, it'll just chew right into that as well. Normally I would put these in, and if they get loose, it would allow me to put in another type anchor like this. These will hold 50 pounds. These are more of a toggle where they'll go in and they'll expand, and they're rated for, so these are rated at 143 pounds. Okay, so a couple things you'll need once you've established the width of your window and you got a rod. You'll need the anchors we just talked about. You'll need some type of level. You'll need a screw gun with a Phillips bit. Very important tool here, a standard pencil. I would not use a Sharpie. Just use a standard pencil, and we'll show you how to put these up with little to no measuring. Okay, a lot of kits will come with some of their own hanging hardware, like these little expanding plastic ones. In my opinion, I think they look good in the package, but that's about it. I was surprised to see that they gave us some plastic versions of these, of the lead anchors that we use. Now these are still nice. They're self-drilling. I wouldn't mind putting these in the wall at all, but we're going to use these lead anchors. The only issue I have with these is if you were to hit a stud with these, it's just going to break the insert, where these will actually bore into the wood a little bit. So we have 3 brackets. We're only going to need 2 for the length. If you span a whole 120 inches, you'll definitely need 3. This pole comes in 3 pieces, and it's like that in case you don't need the full length. So let me show you how to put it together. Alright, so these poles come in 3 pieces, and that's to span a 120 inch length. So you'll want to take that cap off. And you notice one of the large rods have threads on the end. Screw that cap into that one. There's already a cap on one of them. It's hard to get all this in the film. Then you just put the small one inside of one, and then in the other, and that way it's gonna be hard to get it all on camera. But that's how you would span the length. So if you have a wider door, you'd use 3. We're only going to need 2. Now if you had to, and you need to get out just a little bit farther to get into studs, you definitely could do that. So with just 2 poles, I can get everything I need. And if needed, we can always put the one in the center. So let me show you how to put these up without measuring exactly and have them just off the floor. So we're just going to take that loose bracket we have, put it on one end of the pole, and we're going to hang the curtains up till we get it where we want. Put the curtains all the way at one side, then we'll worry about where we're going to put the other one. So there's almost no way to get this whole thing into shot. But what we're going to do is we're going to take the curtains and we're going to hold them up to where we want. So we just come off the floor. And I'm only worried about the one end right now. So we're going to hold them up to about where we want, eyeball them to make sure we're off the floor. And then for height, I'm going to come up and I'm going to mark this. I'm going to put it right at the edge of our trim so the spacing on the width is easy. I always check, make sure where I want it, if there's no stud. You can't always use a stud finder, but I'll just take a screw and I'll put it in the center. And just like this, right into sheetrock. So we're going to take our first anchor and put it in. Now on these type bits, they go right on into the Phillips. And when you screw them in, you just take them to their flush. So I'm going to get the first screw in. Really just to get started. Alright, so with the first screw in, I'm just going to take my small torpedo level, set it on top, get it level, mark the location for the other anchor, and put it in. Now before I put the bracket up, I'm going to take this screw loose so I can put the second anchor in. So just back it out. Back it out and set the top half aside. And that allows you to get the anchor in. There's one. And there'll be the other. A lot of these tools I reference on our top 5 tools every homeowner needs. You're just going to run them in just so it hits. Alright, then we'll just get a screwdriver, we'll put the top half back on and put the other rod up. So let's take your screw, reinstall it, whatever depth you want, adjust it at the end. So I love these multi screwdrivers. And we're going to need to back this out. Alright, so the easiest way to get the rod level is we'll put one in the mount that we just put up. So we'll take this one, we'll slide one on this end. And we'll get it in the same place we want on this side. And just take our torpedo level and we'll put it up there for level. If you need to raise or lower, you can. Right? So since we're on top of the woodwork here, we're level. So from here we'll just mark our hole locations with our handy pencil for the lower one and drive in our inserts. So this really is a fairly quick install. If you have a couple of these to hang up, you'd be surprised at how fast it really goes once you've done it once. And it really just getting the confidence in yourself to be able to do it. Right, so we'll put that insert in. We've already marked the other hole location. And the reason why I like pencils, because if you make a wrong location, you can erase it. But with the Sharpie or ink pens, well, they're permanent markers for a reason. We've already taken off the top half of our bracket like last time. Permanent one in first. But if you need to adjust it, put the bottom one in first, adjust it, and then put the top one in. Okay, so now we'll just reattach the top bracket just like last time. And once the rod and curtain's on, we can adjust this. So this is a 2-panel curtain we're using. We thought about possibly 3, but we'll see. We're just gonna, I guess the big thing here is making sure that you got your folds on the right side. So we're just gonna put these on. And I'll be the first to tell you, I'm gonna hang these up. My wife will probably tell me you're on the wrong side. So, folds forward. We're going to set one end over there, one end over there. Kind of get a lay of the land here. Alright, so we got them just off the floor. They're just above the trim. And then they'll just cover the doors. So they're supposed to be blackout curtains. Maybe not so much. The big thing with these sliders is that they transfer a lot of heat and a lot of cold air just from radiating off the glass. So it's an easy install. Just go back through and tighten everything up. Now you'll have to put your curtains the way you want to. Before I tighten this one up, I'm going to move this last loop to the other side. And that way, I don't see the bracket. I'm just going to tighten up that little screw that's underneath so that way your panel hides the brackets. So this is the screw that holds in the rod. Just unloosen this, get your panel over there and tighten it back up. Alright, so once you're all done, if you want to put little accents on the end of the rod, screw in the new end. And it's just to give it a little bit of an accent, that's all. Nothing you have to do. Alright, so that's just installing curtains over a walkout. It's the same install for curtains over anything, whether it's a window, a walkout, whatever, it's the same. So get you a level. You'll need a rod, the curtains obviously. We picked up these little accents. Most people don't change curtains often enough, so get something you really like. Check out our tools. Also, check out our 5 tools every homeowner needs. I'll post a link somewhere above here. But if you like this type of content, please check out some of our other how-to videos. So until our next repair or fix, this is Holmes. I'll see you then. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share.